these little foxes. Now they're not going to be colored bright russet tones because I actually want them to have more of a ghostly feel to them. So I have some of that purpley mixture that I used down here, which I'm going to start painting a glaze over the foxes for. Need to mix up a little bit more concentrated mixture. That was too dilute initially. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's still too dilute. What's going on here? There we go. I think they need a little bit more bluish tones to get that ghostly look going. So I'm just glazing this over their bodies. Just so you can see, this is what I'm working with as a paint mixture there. And also a little bit of buff titanium, I think. Yeah, that blends it in better. I like the addition of the buff titanium, I think. Okay, so while this paint is still a little bit on the damp side, let me finish painting in that back leg there and the other little legs sticking out down there. All right, so now, as I was saying, while this is still a little bit on the damp side, I grab my white gel pens. I've got upside down Uniball Signo, and yeah, this is also Uniball Signo. I think what they call the smaller one is Angelic, and this one is UM153. UM153 is a little bit more opaque and thicker tip. This one is a little bit more translucent and thinner. I'm using the thicker one right now. Adding some highlighty bits. Now, why do I do this instead of just painting around and doing the highlights traditional watercolor style? Sometimes I just like the more opaque look that this creates. And also I like the way the drawing lines give a little bit of a fur texture, even when I'm blending out afterwards. But the kind of spotted furry texture that it ends up creating is something that I find appealing when I'm doing critters and stuff. I mean, I could easily have just avoided painting these or just glazed and done layers and things with watercolor because it's a small enough area and I'm working with a tiny brush here and it's easy to do, but I don't know, something about the look of this is what I'm after, and it also creates more of that ghostly feel because when you layer white on top of color, it gives it this milky feel, milky look. And I guess with these foxes, since I'm trying to make them look more spirit-like and ghostly, it enhances that effect in particular. I'm going to repeat that with the other foxes over here, but I'm going to do that in sped up time lapse so that you don't have to see me do the same thing over and over again. To continue with my ghostly foxes, I'm now going to take some of the greens. Let's see those. That's the undersea green, mixing with some neutral tint, which is a gray, so that I end up with this grayish green color. And I am going to sort of dry brush that over the dark bits of a fox. The snout, the paws, the ears. And the reason I'm using this muted gray-green color is because it will help the foxes blend more into with the ground color. And as I mentioned, I want them to have this ghostly feel to them. So a little bit of blending with surroundings is required for that. But not so much that they don't stand out. Remember, I still want to have some kind of contrast for them. So it's a tricky balance to strike between those two things. Again, I'm going to switch over to a time-lapsed version of this.